Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Steffi. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. Welcome to a new video. I post pretty much bookish kind of videos and some lifestyle and stuff like that on this channel. So if you're interested in any of those, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll get into today's video. So today's video is actually going to be a wrap up for March. I'm not sure if I did February, but I have a March wrap-up video. I have read way more than I thought I would, but that is because due to this isolation that we have going on, I've read quite a bit. And more or less in the last week, I have read quite a lot, so that's really good. And I thought I'd jump in and show you guys what I read in March. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so the first one, the book that I read in March is the first Harry Potter book. Now this is probably the first time I actually read it properly. There was a lot of things that was so different to the actual movie. Obviously I watch the movies every single year without a miss, without anything. I always watch them, but it was really nice to read the book. Obviously at 28 years of age that I am, obviously the first time I probably read this I was probably so young I don't actually remember actually properly reading it, but it was so different. Even the way it starts, it's so different to the actual like movie. It has nothing to do with it, and I just loved it. And I loved picturing the actual characters and the actors, like whilst reading this book, especially Hagrid. I was literally, my mind was going into Hagrid's like accent and everything every time I read the book. So I think they did very well with choosing the actor that plays Hagrid in obviously the movies as well, because I just really love this. It did take me a while to read it. I'm actually seeing it here. It actually took me a long time. It took me about 3 weeks to finish it. So yeah, it did take me a while to finish this book, but it got finished in the second week of March. So I'm on Goodreads because I just seeing what I've read and how I read them and in what form, because it's just probably easier for me to do that. So I'm actually in front of my iMac always I'm filming this video, because it's just, life is just easy that way. I did suck myself in and literally wanted to read this book. And this is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Camara. This is the retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I love this book, and I actually picked up the second one, which is it A Curse So Fierce and Broken? Can't remember, it's around something like that, it's called something like that. But I love this. It took me a while to understand what was going on and how this is written, because it's written in two parts. We have characters Ren and Harper. Please, I've read so many books in about 2 weeks that I'm getting really confused. But yes, I think it's Harper and... is it Harper and Ren? I'm so sure it is. Let me just open here just to be sure. Yes, I'm not getting characters confused with books, which is great. Okay, so it's Ren, Harper, and there's also Grey, which is with three main people that's in this book, and it's really interesting. I love how Harper's character is. It's amazing, and if you like Beauty and the Beast with a twist, definitely tell you to read this. So this didn't really take me long to read. I think about 5 days, around about a week. So that's that one. Moving on, the next book I read was Owl Crate's edition of All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This was beautiful. I'm going to be very honest, it did take me a while to... It was a very slow starter for me, which I think I actually gave it 4 stars. I couldn't give it 5 for that reason. There was a lot of wording that was really hard. It was obviously her own take on different worlds and stuff like that, and different islands that had these very difficult names that were very hard to remember. So for me it was much of a slow starter, but then eventually it started getting really good. And then we have a pirate, we have the girl, which is Amora. Pirate's his name is Bastian, and we have the fiance of Amora, which is Ferric, and then we also have the mermaid, her name is Vitea. I think something like that, and it's such a beautiful ending. I think as they all kind of met up, it just turned into such a page turner, and I think that's why I kept on reading it. So I knew eventually it would be a really good book to read. So if it takes you a while to understand, just wait until the 200 mark, 200 page mark. It just gets better. It's a shame it's a slow starter, but it does get better. So that one's that one. An amazing read. This took me about 2 to 3 days, I think, only. And this is The Shadow Between Us by Trisha Leverseller. This was from the February edition. Oh my god, this was amazing. It isn't a really big book, but I gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much. And obviously I did my usual annotations on this one because I really enjoyed it, and I had to mark every single bit of this. It was such a beautiful read. I wish there was more. I'm going to be honest, I wish there was more. And it's basically a girl who has to somehow seduce the king, get him to marry her, and then kill him in the end. But in reality it doesn't end that way. It ends a bit differently because she eventually falls in love with him, he falls in love with her, and he has shadows which protects him from being touched. And if he does get touched, the shadows around him actually are put down. He can't put them back up once he's touched the person. So that's his kind of barrier, and obviously she eventually kind of gives that kind of touch, if that makes any sense, and things happen. It's a really good ending, but I wish there was more. And I don't think there's a duology or another book in the series. I kind of wish there was, but we'll have to wait and see. But I love this and it was just amazing. So another 5 stars for that one. And 2 more books to go. We do have Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess. Now this one I had to mark certain things because these 2 books I said I'd read before Chain of Gold because I knew Chain of Gold would be shipping. I think Fairy Loot said the collector's box should be shipping by the end of April, and I just really want to make sure I read these before we get into that one and it arrives. I was so close to actually buying it on Book Depository, but I said I'll wait. It's gonna come eventually, so I don't want to have 2 books. I just thought it would be ridiculous. The Clockwork Angel, I actually read this. I started it in January, I'm saying. No, I did not start this. I started in February. It took me a whole month to read it. It was quite slow for me. I actually didn't even give it a rating yet on Goodreads because I was a bit iffy about it. It was such a slow one for me. But oh my god, Clockwork Prince took me 2.5 days to read and I could not put it down. It is amazing. The love triangle between Will, Tessa and Jem. Oh my god, the amount of times I wanted to scream because it was just too much. It was amazing but too much, and amazing at the same time. I just wanted to know what happens. And it was the 31st, is it the 31st or the 30th? The last day of March. And I didn't want to read a book that went into the 1st of April, so I read The Clockwork Princess in under 24 hours. I did it. It was amazing. It broke me. I cried my eyes out. It broke me again. I was happy, and then I cried my eyes out again. It was one of those books that was amazing yet so hurtful yet amazing at the end of it. So oh my god. And I actually read this and it was amazing. I'm probably gonna give these 2. I haven't done the rating yet on Goodreads, but I can tell you guys right now, Clockwork Prince is a 5 out of 5 and Clockwork Princess is a 4 out of 5 because it broke me in so many ways that I can't give it a 5 out of 5 for that reason, because it was amazing yet hurtful at the same time, yet stressful. So that's that. I can only tell you what I feel. I actually have the Owl Crates edition of, I can't lose the Chain of Gold. I've got the first 2 chapters. I've actually read the first chapter and I just have the second chapter, but I'm going to actually add this because I did read that as well. I started yesterday and I just got tired. I was like, I'm going to let it pass. I can't read everything today. So that's basically what I read for March, and I would say literally within the last 2 weeks I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 books. So mainly March was a slow starter, but then eventually I just got into a reading riddle and I just couldn't stop reading. So that's that. So I hope you guys liked my March wrap up. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Stay tuned for my April TBR, which is coming shortly. I'm just waiting on a couple of books for them to arrive, and when they do, I'll be able to film it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a lovely day wherever you're in the world, and stay safe, especially with everything going on at the moment. So yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Bye guys.